I'm gonna just do it on my
Okay.
computer. She
Hey
said, okay.
guys, it's your two poly chicks back at the shenanigans again.
That's
Chatting
funny.
offline and going through technical difficulties as usual. So, hey, so I'm sure you guys, all of our fans, want to know where we've been. And Cindy did say that that's not grammatically correct, but where you been
Where you
and
there?
what
Oh,
we've
where you
been
there?
doing. So, yeah, I mean, we took a long hiatus because, life and other projects and other things going on. I'll say for me, we started a few businesses. My husband started a recreation and sports business. I started a travel business. We opened an Airbnb, and we also still have our regular jobs and the kid to look after. So we've been pretty busy. That's where I've been. So where you been, Cindy?
Wow.
I'm gonna stop
You
saying
know,
where have you been,
where
Cindy?
you be at? You know, my life doesn't seem that interesting. I don't have a husband and a business that I open an Airbnb and a job and all of that. I didn't do none of that. But I've been I do have the kid, and
The
of course
kid.
school takes up the year. I got my what is my fourth book published now, so
Yes.
that has taken up a lot of time. And
You
I've
should
been
have
working
had
with
it. Where is it? Do you have it by your desk?
yes, ma'am. Let's see. I lied.
Maybe she don't have it.
I
Oh,
do.
I'm
I
gonna start
lied.
with the the
She ain't got it.
grammatical. I can't
She
speak.
ain't
It's
got
the
it.
end of the day, so I'm like, or just tell us about it. Like,
Can I run and get? Wait, where is it? It's
I don't
this is
know.
right here. This is awful. Now you know how we are. Oh wait.
Jeez.
Okay. You know how we are. We can't stop. So this is a chopped up copy of this was the edited copy, but this is the book. It's called. It's probably gonna be. Is it gonna be backwards in the recording? But it's
No, it looks good to me.
okay. It's called Let Us Play. So it's a play on Let Us Pray, which is what normally we say in church. We say Let Us Pray, but I did Let Us Play because I was. It's kind of an assessment of where the church is today in terms of all the antics and shenanigans that the church is doing instead of being the church that it was meant to be. So it's basically playing in church, playing at being a Christian. Um,
Okay.
so that's pretty much what in the back says. Like if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. Well, if it walks like a Christian and quacks like a Christian, is it a Christian? So no.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
So it's just basically that. But you have it. You should have read it by now.
No, because with all the businesses and the kid and all the stuff I just said, there's no way I was gonna have time. I need to do it or take it on a beach vacation and just
Got
have
it.
it poolside or beachside to read. But
So no,
so
I understand.
we've both been busy as you
Yes.
guys hear, and the reason we came back or decided to come back is because we're in the middle of an electrifying election season. Ooh, say that. Let me
Suddenly,
see.
suddenly.
Electrifying election season. Electrifying election season. Let's face it, with Biden and Trump being the nominees, it wasn't so fun or funny to me. It was just like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now it seems like the energy has moved. So, of course, a few people have asked us whether or not we would be bringing two poly chicks back. And we actually started in 2020 with the election season during that time. So here we
Mm-hmm.
are 4 years later with the election season. So that's why we brought it back to just discuss a few of the things that's going on, a few of the issues, and just bring you some insight. That's why.
Wow. To bring in the noise, bring in the funk. Yes. And like Tiffany said, I mean, it wasn't enough for us to, what was happening wasn't enough for us to stop our lives to talk about. So, but what's happening now is enough to like put a pause on it, as Michelle Obama said, and do something. So we decided to lend our voices to what's happening. So Tiff, what we gonna talk about? We talked about where we've been, why we back. Do we want to talk about the DNC?
What is with this grandma? I promise you guys, we talk better than that. No,
Oh yeah.
so
Sometimes.
no, but yeah, we'll just talk about what's just recently happened or what's recently in the middle of happening right now. We had the RNC a few weeks ago, and I watched a good amount of it. Cindy, I know you said you didn't watch most.
I
You
didn't
didn't
even
watch
turn
any
it.
of it.
I
Did you
couldn't
watch
tell.
any
Oh,
of
I
it?
could tell you two things. I could tell you
Okay.
two things. Kid
Okay.
Rock
Good. Good. Good.
was on it, and
Yep.
Hulk Hogan. I think he took off his shirt. Did he take off, open his something?
Well, yeah, he did the Hulkamania,
Yeah,
the
that.
ripping off the shirt,
That's all I could
and
tell you.
he people were complaining because he still had another shirt on
Oh no,
underneath it,
I'm
but
lying. I'm lying. I'm
so you
sorry.
saw
We cut each
something
other
else.
off, guys. We cut each other off. I'm lying. I do know one other thing. I remember that, and I don't know if he said it in his speech, but that guy who's running for president, he said that because he almost got killed or shot or whatever, that he
Oh
was going to
yeah,
change his ways. And he was like, I'm supposed to be nice.
yeah.
I don't know if he went in the opposite direction during the speech, but I know they were talking about whether he was going to be nice or not in RNC.
Do know it was a long speech for the RNC. It was like really long. I know he, stayed on topic for the most part for a good portion of the speech.
Mm-hmm.
I guess getting shot at or having an assassination attempt
Uh-huh.
could, give you a little bit of pause, but sometimes that's not a life-changing moment for some people. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, the RNC, I watched most of it. It, we're political junkies, so I'm gonna watch anything related to politics, and especially if it's major. Every 4 years, the RNC, they had some good speakers. They did have a diverse audience, not audience. I'm sorry, they had a diverse speaker platform.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot more Latino and Black people speaking, so that was a little different. But it wasn't as electrifying as the DNC. Now, I don't care which side of the political aisle you're on. No one, there's not one person that could deny that that roll call by DJ Cassidy was
Liddy.
electrifying. I mean,
Liddy.
come on. I wanted to hear every state. Now, usually you just fast forward through, okay, she's gonna get the delegates, he's gonna get the delegates. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
hear the music for each and every state that
Wasn't
they
that
announced.
interesting? It was like,
That
okay,
was
what's
so
Arkansas gonna do? What's Colorado
yes.
gonna play?
Yes,
Wow.
that was so different. That was, and I hate to just minimize it and talk about just the music of it, but it was something different, and it's a change that's probably going to be adopted going forward. So this is
Yeah.
a moment in time where the roll call is going to be different. If you don't think the RNC next year is going to have a different roll call, they will. The DNC has to show themselves up by doing something to top what they did this year, or maybe
I don't
piggybacking.
know what they're gonna do.
I mean, I think it should just continue to stay.
And
Just
you know
have
what
that
was
roll call all
interesting
the
to
time.
me? What was interesting to me was the mix of delegates that were there for their state. So like you had
Hmm.
Guam, you had like these, and they're always there, but just how they all did their own little spin on the activity. So some people spoke in their native language. And it
Yeah.
was like you had a cowboy hat on here, and just everybody just representing in their own way. So you don't have to have
Yes.
rap music, you don't
Yeah.
have to have country music, but some people just had like native tongue speak where they was just saying something in their native language, and it just so I mean
It just
some corny
flows so
looking
well.
folks, but it just looked
It
so
it
interesting,
just
and they were like,
flows so
"We're
well.
just here to do that." It was
Oh
so
my goodness.
interesting.
And like you said, I mean, like I said, not to just talk about the music portion, but when you think about it, they had a variety, a wide genre of music. They had country music. They had what was it? Sweet Home Alabama that was playing.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. And
yeah.
I love that song. I know that people don't really like it, but I mean,
Mhm.
that's the representation. You had Snoop for California. Then, of course, Little John coming out with From the Window to the Walls. Come on.
I
Like,
can't. I can't. I can't.
wait, did he
Ghetto
say to
as
the
all
window?
get out.
Did he say to the window? Whatever he said. I don't remember
It was
exactly, but
ghetto,
I
but
mean,
I loved it.
but it was electrifying. It
It
got
was a
you, and it also made people watch or want to see what took place, and maybe become more interested in the process of how the
yeah.
delegates are voting and why the delegates are there to nominate the president. So, I mean, that's a learning moment too.
It was just what you just said. One of the things I had text you. I was like, Tiff, why California and Wisconsin didn't vote? Because I never watched the DNC. I never really watch it. I never really watched the RNC, the DNC. I don't care because it's all
You're a
fluff.
political junkie?
I'm a political junkie. I watch the commentary, I watch speeches, but I don't watch the fanfare part of it, the singing and all. I don't watch any of that.
Okay.
So when they didn't do it, I was like, Tiff, you mean to tell me California ain't nominating,
Oh gosh.
Kamala Harris is that's from her town, or why they didn't say Wall, and then I Googled it because she didn't answer me right away and I just couldn't sleep without the answer.
No.
And then I
Yeah.
found, guys, that your state does not vote for you in the beginning, but at the end they vote for you. And if there's a tie, they're the tiebreaker. Something like that. That's what I Googled and it said. So I was like, oh, okay. So I learned something. I thought that was really interesting. I just thought
See?
it was, like you
That's what I
said,
said. It's a learning experience,
it
a
was a
learning
learning
option
experience.
or opportunity, I should say.
It
So that's good.
was, it was, it was really, it was the first time I watched from beginning to end. I usually will, like you said, fast forward. Oh, I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear. I don't need to have. Just go to the speeches and to maybe some of the testimonies of different people that come up and share their personal stories. I'll listen
Yeah.
to that. But I don't. These
Yeah.
politicians that get up there, sometimes I just be like, meh. But
Yeah, I mean, they all say pretty much the same thing. I'm the best.
yeah,
I'll do whatever it is that you need me to do to change, and I want your vote. So
yeah,
that's pretty much what, and they try to sell you. And I mean, we all know elections are about choosing what's best for you and what you perceive to be the best option for your family. So,
mhm.
and that's what the DNC was trying to present for their people, and the RNC was trying to present for their people. So we'll
But the
see how it
RNC
turns
was
out.
like a do over, huh?
Oh yeah, and but it's so hard to go first, right? It's always so hard to go first because
It's that.
you think I have the best project ever, and then somebody
No.
comes over and you're like,
Why did not think of that?
"What is that?" And you're like, you walk in and you know how, let's say you're in a fashion show and you have like a beautiful dress on, and you think it's the best, and then
It's the
someone comes
best.
with like this and the accessories and the like, then you're like, wait a minute, I want to. And Trump actually did say he wants his money back.
He pretty much wanted. He said that we owe. He said that the DNC owes him money. It reminded me of what you just said. Remind me of that episode of Jamie Foxx show when he was having to battle that woman that she came on the job the same time he did. They were like jingle writers, and
Okay.
he was the best jingle writer all along. Singing and writing the jingles for commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that because she was attractive, big boobs and all of this, that she couldn't write. So he was like, yeah, she got that job because she's sexy. So then they had said, oh, we're going to have a jingle. We're going to have a jingle off. Like you're going to, like go back and forth to see who wins.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't take her seriously. So it was his turn to go. He was like, plain white rice, plain white rice, see hot boils, see hot boils. And she did all of this
And
thing.
she
And she
came
like
out ready
wiped
to
him.
play.
She
Ready
made
to
him look, and
play.
he was like, "Oh
Yeah.
shoot, like you good." So it
Yep.
was like with the RNC, they thought, plain white rice, plain white rice. See,
Yep.
let's just have and then they see all of this hype, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Wait, we need to go again." Like, but there's no do
Yeah, and
overs.
it's not to, I mean, we don't know if they were thinking, okay, it doesn't matter like what the DNC is doing, or if that was the best that they had to offer. We
No,
don't
it's
know.
just
Like,
tradition. It's just
yeah,
tradition.
you just never know. And some people, like I said, may not like the music with the roll call, but I can honestly say here in Iowa with 14 votes and just hearing the monotone nature of the roll call, it's not, it just puts a different spin on it with music. So shout out to
Yeah.
DJ Cassidy for
Shout
that. I
out to,
loved
and
it.
it made me think that, and then we'll move on. It made me think about what joins people together, and there's two things you could think of, like food and
And music.
music.
Yep.
Those are the things that even when you angry, what you hear the song and you just feel
Yep.
like you can't help it.
It's
Music
a
is
it's
that
a
thing.
unifier. It's
It's a
food and music
unifier.
are
Food
unifiers.
and music.
So
When you start talking
yep,
about your food with your culture, man, they're like, oh,
yep,
I make something similar. We call it
yep.
this. Or oh, just like Tim Walls that says
Exactly.
something about some kind of pie that the vice president of the elected vice the what do you call him? The candidate for vice president that's a Republican. He was like,
Okay.
he think he know Nebraska, but he probably calls it pockets or whatever. We call it
Oh,
this. Food is that
oh man.
thing, but music is that thing. Music
It's
is
that
the thing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Tim Walls, I'll say we'll be remiss without saying how his son reacted. I think his son's name is Gus, and
Mhm.
how he reacted. And I
And how they're
understand that he
clowning him
has,
now.
yeah, but I thought, or well, I can't verify it, but I thought he had some type of issue, like some type of mental health issue.
When I saw him, I
But
thought so. I thought so.
yeah, but if even if he does or doesn't, I mean, the pride that you have to feel, because I talked to David about this, the pride that you have to feel that your father is on this big stage and making this big, probably the biggest speech of his life, right in front of you, and he's talking about you. I
Talking
mean,
about you.
right. I mean, what more prideful moment will a kid have for their parents? So to
Yeah.
cry and to be ecstatic about it and saying that's my dad. I mean, I can imagine Donnie doing that. I mean, David shoots a three and he's like, oh, like we're basketball fanatics. So he's like
Yeah.
all over the floor about David. So
A boy
imagine
with
if he
his
was
father.
I mean, come on. So I don't know what there is to clown about that. And we'll get into episodes of talking about the male and the male emotions because apparently, men are not supposed to show emotion or emote, as we call it.
Mhm.
And, that's a big thing. He's crying. He's all over the place. He's so happy. I don't know what's wrong with being happy or crying when you're sad, but I
Well, it's
mean,
it's what they call it, outrage politics. It's just whatever I can be
everything is
mad about for the
outrageous.
day.
Yeah.
Angatics is whatever I can be mad at for the day. I don't care about the
Yeah.
policies. It's just whatever I think is ridiculous. I'm mad at Obama's tan suit. I'm mad at the microphone. I'm mad at how you say I'm mad at the commercial in between. It's just I'm anger. It's angatics.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about this season? I mean, I know we have a few topics, we have a few
Uh,
things that we have on the horizon, like how influencers are influencing the election, how
oh,
entertainers have more of a voice. We are definitely going to talk about the end of the speech. And of course that what is that? The debate that's coming up on September 10th. We have to talk
if
about
I
that.
can't concentrate,
Um,
I can't
we're,
concentrate.
we're gonna bring back the politics and hopefully deliver timely messages to you guys and just share fun um and
Mm,
unique stories and educate as well because our mission is
yes,
always to educate on the political realm as well, so because
yes.
there's a lot of people that's not interested or not well versed on politics. And Donnie, he's in seventh grade. He's taking civics for the first time,
Oh
and
wow,
he
seventh
was
grade is
asking
good
so many
social
questions.
studies.
Yes, so it's
Oh,
and
yeah.
I almost feel like every American should revisit civics once every few years just to understand how our system works. So maybe we'll, talk about some of the stuff he talked about or would be talking about in his civics class, just to revisit
Wow.
some of the
Yeah.
basics, right?
Yeah.
So
Just to understand you, there was a Latino lady, I don't remember what's her name, but she got up and she was talking about vota when she was talking about that they vote. And she was just saying how, like in Arizona, and I forgot where else, but Arizona was one of the ones I remember she mentioned, and just how
okay.
the difference between Biden and Trump in terms of election results was like just thousands.
Wow.
So it was just that small number of those swing states. If you don't understand, we maybe could do something on swing states, just understanding
Hmm.
the power of the swing state, which they're calling Florida. I don't know why, because I don't know that they'll ever really vote for a Democrat. But
Well,
um,
I mean, if you look back at Andrew Gillum, he almost became the governor, and
almost, yeah,
so it was like he gained over 40% of the vote. So
right,
that's telling. So to
right,
run the state as a
right.
um
It's
as an
this
African
this
American man
that
in
was
Democrat.
her point.
So
That was her point. How African Americans, Latinos are the one, and women are the ones that are shifting these elections, and just how just a
ooh,
small number of
ooh,
people. What?
we're definitely going to talk about the abortion issue. Definitely. I mean, you guys, one of us is pro-choice and one of us is not. And we're going to
I've
debate the
changed.
thing and probably tell a story, a funny story about Cindy's godson.
Oh.
So,
Yes. Oh yeah,
yeah,
she got to tell you guys. I'm not gonna say no.
yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot more coming for you, and I mean, we just wanted to do a quick intro, and we couldn't have the DNC and the RNC pass without having a conversation
Yeah.
about it and just presenting. And as always, if you have any topics, shoot me or Cindy an email.
Leave it in the
You can
comments, right?
message us, leave it in the comments, and we'll talk about it, and we'll do our lives and all of the other things that we've been doing, and of course have special
Yes.
guests and all of the stuff. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes,
Okay.
and please, if you even if you've missed it, you can go back and look at the DNC and the RNC if you want. It's it's YouTube arena, so it's always out there in the cloud somewhere. You can still look. We're on what, day 4? Today's the last day. But
Mhm.
we're recording this on day 4. And tonight Kamala will accept her nomination, and you can go back and look at that. I mean, look at what these people are saying, and the speeches were electrifying. The speeches so far, yesterday was kind of boring to me, but overall, I think it was a great, so far, great DNC. So I would encourage everybody to go back and look.
Also, Cindy went back and looked at a few of our older episodes, and we have a lot more views than we did when we
Yeah,
first left off. So go back and take a look at some of the episodes that we, or the episodes that we did.
yeah.
We have a variety. We have
Interviews. We
yeah,
did a lot of stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So go back and take a look. If you're new to Polychicks, always subscribe, and just go back and take a look at what we have and what we've done. But anything else, Cindy?
That's it. I was just sitting here because I was so distracted trying to remember how we signed off.
Oh, you want to just sign off, or you want to stop
No, but
the
I was thinking
recording?
about it because I was planning in my head.
Oh
I should
my
have just said
goodness.
it and
Okay.
clicked. I should have just said it and been like,
But
oh,
yeah, before we say bye, it's like, okay. I mean, hey, like I said, we're not tech wizards. We're poly chicks. So
yes, yes, we're poly
so forgive
wizards.
us for any of the technical issues. I mean, Donnie will be able to help out. He's actually an IT student now.
Oh
So
yeah,
maybe
Daniel
he'll be
too.
able to,
Same thing.
yeah. So maybe
Really good.
they'll be able to help us out. Like, who
Clip
knows?
stuff out.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's it for us. Like I said,
All right.
like, subscribe to Poly Chicks, and what is it? Two Poly
Email
Chicks?
polychicks@gmail. I know that because I still use that, guys. I'm on Twitter.
Yes.
We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I'm mostly active on Twitter or X, right? X. And then
Okay.
the email is polychicks@gmail.com. Is it
Yep.
polychicks or two polychicks? The
I
email.
don't know. That's why I was saying we'll put it in the description.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
that's
All
all.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Wait, don't say nothing yet. Just keep talking until I find the stop button because that'll be where
Oh
we'll
my
say something like
gosh. I'm
that.
just
All right.
gonna hang up and you'll be here
Okay.
by yourself.
I found it. Bye.